tonight. A rapid rise in oil prices. Crude is climbing to levels Albertans haven't seen in years. Plus,
satellite imagery allows for that 1,000-foot view and identify issues and monitor.
A new technology is giving farmers a bird's eye view of their land.
This is Newcap News with Michaela Henshaw.
Many Albertans are keeping an eye on oil prices. Crude is climbing to levels not seen in years, and it's now closing in on $66 US a barrel. So why the rapid rise? Some industry observers say it has to do with supply and demand. Demand continues to increase while supply is continuing to decrease. It's unclear whether oil is done its upward rally, but there is strong momentum for another bump.
Crude oil doesn't like to be in this sort of $60 or sub-$60, $55, $60 area historically. It either stays lower than that or it gets higher than that. We think there's significant momentum in crude oil. We're not seeing global demand diminish in any way at this time, at a time when we're seeing supplies coming off and storage being drawn upon in the biggest market, the United States. So we're quite bullish crude long term.
Experts say Alberta producers are not necessarily getting that higher price, in some cases a $30 differential. Pickering says that has to do with the Keystone pipe break in South Dakota, which is still working at reduced capacity, and the uncertainty around other pipeline projects. While getting a bird's eye view of your farm is now literally in the palm of your hand, Gerard Lampow found out about a new technology that's now available in Canada.
They had a product for doing mapping and data collection and analysis.
Darcy Hill-Gardner has 25 years on the farm as a second-generation grain and pulse producer. For the last year, his nearly 10,000 acres in Camrose has been under the watchful eye of Climate Field View.
Well, it's really good. I mean, we don't have just one line of equipment, and that was part of what attracted us to Field View, is the fact that we have different seeding and spraying and harvesting.
Hill-Gardner likes that he can move Field View between a different equipment just by unplugging his iPad and going from one cab to the next, and then all the data is available in one place. His beta testing version has helped him scout the field.
So you take that same iPad that you had in your sprayer, and you take it out, and you can pinpoint locations in the field and say, this is where I am, and scout and mark on your map.
The system's mobility allows producers to have their data on the go. The app helped Hill-Gardner during harvest.
That's one of the things that we really liked about it, is that fact that it has real-time mapping. So data coming off your combine is instantly being pushed to the cloud, and therefore for ourselves, we had 3 combines in the field. The one combine could see what the other 2 combines were doing.
Denise Hockaday with Climate Corporation estimates farmers make 40 to 50 decisions on a field each year. Field View collects satellite and non-satellite information so you can integrate your drone collection data.
Satellite imagery allows for that 1,000-foot view and identify issues and monitor. There are places, though, where non-satellite imagery is also very helpful. Quite often it's at a higher resolution.
For a $1,000 to about $3,000 subscription, depending on the size of your operation, you get the hardware or the drive, which sits in the combine, and then you need an iPad to see your data. Hill-Gardner is happy on his return on investment.
We were quite impressed with it, and we've signed up for another year.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Well, City Council is looking at prospective reconciliation talks with surrounding communities. The Heart of Treaty 6 has declared a commitment to trust and relationships, with 2 main focuses of education and awareness, as well as healing. Councillor Mike Diachuk says it's important to start building these relationships, since Saskatchewan numbers suggest 50% of students will be Aboriginal or Métis by 2020.
It's one that requires patience. It's one that takes time to work through, and it's one of actually just spending time talking to gain and develop an understanding.
It's important that we reach out and work with them as best as we can, and I think this is an excellent opportunity to start a new conversation.
Diachuk also states that the money is not an issue.
We want to have everybody at the table, and so just because you don't have money, that shouldn't preclude your participation and support.
The signing would take place in March. And City Council received a proposal from Atco Electric this week to update most of the street signs in Lloydminster with LED bulbs. Atco would pay for the cost and use a multiplier for each bulb.
Basically, it's a utility rate that we'll have to pay over top on the usage of our power. The reality is, though, is that our power usage is going to go down fractionally, to the point where we save and pay $1 less a month.
Not only would this cost less than having to replace each bulb individually over time, it would provide savings against rising rates.
In the long run, it would provide a higher level of service. There's an environmental component to it of using less kilowatt hours, and and in the long run, it might be beneficial, especially if electricity rates go up in the next 5 or 10 years.
A fair portion of the Saskatchewan side will still be covered along with the entire Alberta side, and Diachuk says the contrast is hardly noticeable.
We've already seen some of the lights replaced, and you have to look pretty hard to see the difference.
Council will make a decision after reviewing the details of the proposal in the following weeks. Well, since Alberta Organ and Tissue Donation Registry began back in 2014, over 300,000 Albertans have signed up. Tomorrow marks the 3rd annual Transplant Trot at the Service Centre in hopes of increasing that number. The main goal for the Transplant Trot is to promote awareness for the desperate need of organ donations. Currently, 600 Albertans and 4,000 Canadians are on the wait list.
We actually know of 4 successful transplants that took place in Lloydminster and area in 2017. So there's definitely a need. It's a life-saving procedure.
Participants can run or walk the 5 kilometers, but what makes the event unique is what's done before participants get started. One lap to demonstrate how many people have been affected by organ donation in the community.
It's one lap of individuals who have received transplants or have been living donors. The other group of people that will walk in that recognition walk are members of families who've had a loved one who was either a living or a deceased donor.
There are a limited number of in-person registrations available at the event tomorrow morning. Doors open at 8:30. Well, Swimmers and Snowflakes is a special family event at the BioClean Aquatic Center this weekend. And like we just mentioned, the Transplant Trot is set to go tomorrow. Heather Klages has the details in this week's edition of What's Happening.
Tomorrow night, going to be a big party here at the BioClean Aquatic Center. It's swimming and snowflakes. The whole family can come out, take a dip in the pool. There's going to be a DJ here, crafts, cookies, free hot chocolate bar, a whole lot of fun for the whole family. And you can choose between 2 different times. You can come out between 5:30 and 7 or 7:30 until 9. To get your tickets and for more information, just get in touch with the folks at the BioClean Aquatic Center. Lakeland College of Performing Arts students are putting the final touches on their adaptation of James and the Giant Peach. You get to see this on stage at the Vic Juba Community Theatre coming up Friday, February 2nd and Saturday, February the 3rd. Get your tickets now so that you can see this show that's been adapted by the kids, plus they star in it and they built all the sets, so they put a lot of heart and soul into this show. You can check it out coming up next weekend. Get your tickets at the box office or online, vicjubatheatre.ca. The folks working on The Lion King Jr. will probably know the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight really well. It's one of the songs that you're going to find on Elton John's Greatest Hits collection. So many hits from him. You've also got Tiny Dancer, Rocket Man, Benny and the Jets. The list just goes on and on. If you want to win a copy, it's really easy. All you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And the Transplant Trot takes place tomorrow morning at the Service Sports Centre. Doors open at 8:30 and the walk will get underway at 9:30. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klages, and that's what's happening.
This is Newcap Sports.
In a little over a year, the Lloydminster Boxing Club has made a name for itself throughout the Saskatchewan ranks. The club has dominated in cards in Calgary, Edmonton, and various locations throughout Alberta. Now, as Lance Phillips reports, the club is less than a week away from arguably its most important card.
For those who haven't had a chance to check out the Lloydminster Boxing Club, since its opening, the small North End organization has adorned its modest location with the Belts of Champions. Belts that have brought the club to prominence throughout Saskatchewan, and now the club is poised to produce more belts in its own backyard.
It's first for our club to have a card in town here, so it's definitely a big deal for us, you know, in the Sask Boxing Association and Canada Boxing Association in itself, I guess.
Rolling Green will be the venue for the February 3rd card, aptly named the Battle at the Border, where fans can expect to see some of the province's best fighters.
They can expect good fights. They can expect some blood. And they can expect good sportsmanship, number one, I guess. You know, that's something that people will be amazed about, you know, how good of friends we all are. You know, we might battle against another club, but one of those coaches, again, you know, of that kid that's boxing my kid is a good friend of mine also.
They're going to see a lot of great fights. We got some awesome open-class boxers coming. We got a bunch of fun box, a bunch of little kids fighting. It's going to be an awesome night.
The Lloydminster Club is expected to have at least 8 boxers on the card, and the prospect of fighting in their hometown has those fighters eager to step in the ring, for many different reasons.
Most of my family can come and watch me and cheer me on.
Just want to show all the people in Lloyd what we're all about and show them how far we've gone in a year.
What are you all about?
Whipping ass.
I'm super excited, nervous, you know, a little more nervous than having a fight even maybe myself, you know, but no, it's going to be awesome. It's definitely a lot of work, a lot more work than I thought putting together a boxing card, but it's going to be a good night, there's no doubt about that. They can expect some wars.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.